Hi friends, I'm Jacinta Diamonds, and today I am going to talk about pole dancing shoes. So in this video I'm going to describe the different types of heel heights. I'm also going to talk about the construction of the shoe and then ultimately give you some tips on which shoe or which heel height is best for you. So first of all, you can see that we have a range of different heights here. So these ones are 6 inches, these ones are 7 inches, we have 8 inches here, these ones are 9 inches, and the boots are actually 8 inches as well, but it's more aesthetic to have them over here at the end because of the ankle section. Now, the height of the heel, or the 6 inches, the 8 inches, refers to the height of the heel. So from the base of the heel here until the back of the heel at the top here is 8 inches long. Okay, and then at the front of the shoe we have the platform, and the platform is usually, depending on the height of the heel, a proportion of that. So it's maybe about half. And then if you cut the shoe off at the platform, you can see here that's how high the shoe really is. So it's not really 6 inches high, 8 inches high, because you've got this platform on the front of the shoe. This is how high the shoe is, and you can see it's actually not that steep. These ones here are it's a little bit harder to tell because we actually have some construct around the top of the shoe to create this cute little maid look. So this is where the platform ends, and this is where the heel ends. So that heel is 6 inches, and then we have a 1 inch platform on the front. So these are actually, if you cut them off here, it's not really steep, but it is quite steep. And by steep, I mean, if you imagine a ballerina up on point, you're not quite on point on your very tippy toes, but you are quite high up on your toes when you wear a 6 inch heel, because it's not quite, the platform is not quite half the heel. So the ratio between the platform and the heel is greater, which means the heel is higher, the platform is lower, you are up higher on your toes, which makes it a little bit more unsteady. When you start to get to the 7 and the 8 inches, you'll notice, as I said before, this one is about half the heel. So the platform comes to about half the heel height, so we are not as steep, we are not as up on our toes. So that can play a part in which shoes you should choose, because if you're not very confident or you don't feel like you have very strong ankles, being higher up on your toes, a steeper shoe like a 6 inch is probably going to feel more unsteady for you. Let's talk about the actual construct of the shoe, and we'll use this one now because let's change it up. This is a pretty shoe. So Pleaser is the leading manufacturer for pole dancing shoes in the world. These are all Pleaser shoes. And they are made in a one-piece plastic mold. So that means they put the plastic into one mold and there's no joins anywhere on this shoe. So it's actually a really strong, sturdy shoe. The other thing you'll notice is that we have this nice, soft padding on the top, and you can see in this one it's actually quite thick padding. There's like nearly 1 centimeter of padding on this shoe. That's because pole dancers or strippers generally will wear their shoe all night long, so they need to be comfortable and they need to be strong for the types of dance that we do in them. So that's the reason why the one-piece mold is so important, and also that padding. So that adds to the comfort and also the stability of the shoe. I find that the shoes, there are a few styles where they're not a one-piece mold, and sometimes they feel a little bit creaky and flimsy. So the one-piece mold are definitely a little bit more sturdy. So I mentioned how the platform height can affect how steady you feel. So the 6 inches makes you higher up on your toes, you might feel a little bit less steady. The other thing that the platform can do As you can see here with the 9 inches, there's a lot of platform. So for me, I find that all this platform feels like I have a bit of a hoof on the bottom of my foot. I feel like I am not quite sure where the floor is, and I struggle to find connection with the floor because there is so much platform. Even though we've still got quite a bit of platform, like 4 fingers worth of platform on the 7 inches, I feel like just being this much higher from the floor with my toes is like a little bit unsettling. I do struggle with my depth perception just a little bit. So personally, I prefer 7 and 8 inches. It's taken me a while to get used to the 8 inches because of that depth perception. And the 9 inches are just honestly terrifying, and I don't have 10 inches to show you because I'm not crazy. However, the platform can be handy if you are doing an exotic style of pole dancing where you might be dragging your foot around like this, okay? So when you're doing that, having such a big platform means your foot is further away, like your toes are further away from the floor, so you're not dragging them. Whereas when they're in these kinds of shoes, not that I would drag beautiful bejeweled Diamante shoes, but when you drag those, you're closer to the floor and you are more likely to catch your feet. And that can be a little bit painful. So there are benefits to having a big platform. Now, if you are a beginner to heels or a beginner to pole dancing, I recommend starting with a smaller heel and then working your way up. So for me, the sweet spot is the 7 inches or even the 8 inches because they're not so steep. The 6 inches I find are a little bit steeper, so while they might feel lower to the floor and you think that's safer, being a little bit higher on your toes can be more unsteady if you don't have super strong ankles. So you'll find the 7 and the 8 inches are not as steep. 7 inches, you'll have a little bit more depth perception with the ball of your foot. And then as you get a little bit more confident, you can work your way up to the 8 and the 9 inches. The 9 inches and the 10 inches do come with a warning from Pleaser not to stand, walk, or dance in them, just so you know. So, I hope that helps. I'll be back soon with another tip on boots and how to lace them.